praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the honest our apostle / elders, which are GMS, and blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and doing this work in truth and sincerity. With that being said, we wanted to go over a lesson. The topic of today's lesson is the modern day characteristics of the ancient two-thirds. Again, that's the modern day characteristics of the ancient two-thirds. Okay? And we're going to go into a particular chapter we're going to go into is Psalms chapter 78. And we're going to get into the whole chapter, but in this, we're going to do multiple parts to this. So in this part, we're going to do a good portion of this chapter, okay? If the Most High will have us go through it all, we're going to go through it all. Okay, Psalms 78 and 2. We're going to start from there.
This is the book of Psalm 78 in verse 2. Let my prayer come before thee. Incline thine ear unto my cry.
Psalm 78, verse 2.
Yes, that was 78. Oh, no, it's not. This is Psalms chapter 78, verse 2. It says, I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Most High.
Now, in these times, that's prevalent. That's what we're doing. We're opening our mouths in parables and dark sayings of old. Okay, dealing with the meat of the scriptures. Okay, and the prophecies. Go ahead.
And his strength and his wonderful works that he had done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children.
Yeah, so basically, the reason why we are out there, we were out there on the highways and byways, and we still are, is for the truth to be handed down from generation to generation to generation. Okay, and that's why it's important to go out, to be instant in season, out of season, and to be especially like for the year to push, because this is being handed down from Israelite to Israelite to Israelite. Okay, we wouldn't have this truth if it wasn't for our apostles, and the apostles wouldn't have it if it wasn't for their predecessors. So that's why it's important to continue to do the work. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 7, that they might set their hope in the Most High, and not forget the works of the Most High, but keep his commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation.
Yeah, and so basically this is getting into the two-thirds of that time. Okay, go ahead.
A generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with the Most High.
Yeah, so let's look up that word aright. Okay, Psalm 78. No, you don't have to look it up. Okay, y'all just switch. Yeah, to see read. I prefer to be a Oh.
This is Psalm 78, verse 8. It says, "And might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with the Most High."
All right, you got that?
It's the Hebrew word kawan, which means to be firm, be stable, be established, to be set up, be established, be fixed, to be firmly established, to be established, stable, secure, enduring, to be fixed, be securely determined, to be, literally just kicked me out that.
All right. So while he looking that up, there's a definition I won't go into. The definition is fickle. It means likely to change, especially due to caprice, irresolution, or instability. Casually changeable, not constant or loyal in affections. A fickle lover. So basically, you know, the opposite of right is fickle. You know, give me that when Yahushua told John, you come to see a reed shaking in the wind. You know, you got it?
Yeah. It says to be directed aright, be fixed aright, be steadfast, to prepare, be ready, be prepared, be arranged, be settled, to fix, make, ready, prepare, provide for, furnish, to direct toward, to arrange. Way at the bottom it says to be established, be restored.
Yeah, so basically, a right is just firm, solid in your foundation. So that's you know, what firm is synonymous with. So you want to be stable in this thing, man. You don't want to be back and forth, such as Yakanan, you know, what they call them two hearts. You know, one time you're in the truth, then you're out of the truth, then you're in the truth. You know, fickle in affections. You're so adamant, call halal, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, blessings to our apostles, double honors to our apostles, things of that nature. Now, you hanging out with people that call the apostles niggas and all kind of silly things, okay, for lack of better words. I got something else I wanted to get. Sirach 33 and 1. They got more to that, what you have over there? Sirach 33 and 1, it says, there shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation even again he will deliver him. Okay, a wise man hateth not the law. And the law is really our foundation as far as being an Israelite, right? But he that is an hypocrite, therein is as a ship in a storm. Okay? We all know how ships in a storm are. It's left, right, up, down, and you really gotta, you know, go the thing about a ship in a storm, you know, you can't turn around when the storms are bad, man, because of the capsize, right? But these niggas are capsizing by the day, man. All right? Because as soon as it get rough for them, they like to turn around and hightail it. They can't handle the storm, man. It says, a man of understanding trusts in the law, and the law is faithful unto him as an oracle. Prepare what to say, and so thou shalt be heard, and bind up instruction, and then make answer. The heart of the foolish is like a cartwheel, and his thoughts are like a rolling axle tree. Okay? A stallion horse is a mocking friend. He neigheth under everyone that sitteth upon him. And that's something like Baloo to Yakanan, man. You know? So basically, the Most High requires people that are stable in their mind, in their spirits. Okay, go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11, and verse 7. It says, and as they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in kings' houses.
Yeah, so basically, you know, a reed shaking in the wind is something that has a form of not being stable, man. You know? So basically, Yahushua is saying, you know, basically John was checking to see if he was that dude. He was like, what, you come to see if I'm unstable or something? You know what I'm saying? It's all about stability, man. And stability comes from being consistent and doing what you're doing. You know? And 2/3 characteristically are not stable. They're subject unto change. Let's get that scripture. Meddle not with them. No, let's already get the precepts. Meddle not with them that are subject to change, man. You know.
Proverbs 24 and 21. My son, fear thou Yahweh and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change.
Yeah, that's right. The scriptures tell you that, And like we said, the 2/3 are prevalent in that, man. They're prevalent in switching up doctrine and doing things of that nature, man. When it gets hard for them, or they got this new revelation type of thing, man. Okay, go ahead.
That was it today.
Yeah, that's something you call Slakia.
That was it to the Matthew.
Yeah, go back to the same.
This is the book of Psalm, chapter 78, and verse 9. It says, the children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of the Most High, and refused to walk in his law.
Now, the main core of identifying the 2/3 of now is basically comparing them to the 2/3 of the past, man. And it shows you how they are now and how they then. The Ephraim, it says Ephraim didn't obey the law of the Most High, man. Really at the end of the day, they all boil around serving the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And just keeping the covenant to your best ability, not denying it and saying you got a problem with it. And that was a 2/3 problem all the time. They questioned Moses, basically doing what? Questioning order. They questioned what the Most High was doing for them. They were inconsiderate. This chapter is going to go into all that. Okay, go ahead.
And forget his works and his wonders that he showed them. Marvelous things did he in the sight of their fathers in the land of Egypt, in the field of Zoan.
Yeah, the Most High got it to the point that he's showing marvelous works. He got uproars of the people. He have storms and tempests and earthquakes in diverse places. He has wars and rumors of war, famines. All these things are coming to pass, man. Okay? Go ahead.
He divided the sea and caused them to pass through. And he made the waters to stand as in heat.
Yeah, so basically this is specifically talking about getting salvation out of Egypt. The things I was naming is forms of those signs, man. The Most High gonna keep on delivering us out of Egypt every other week. He's basically waiting on that this is the last time we're gonna get saved out of the modern day Egypt, which is America. The modern day Egypt is just modern day slavery, man. Okay.
In the daytime also he led them with a cloud, and all the night with the light of fire. He clave the rocks in the wilderness, and gave them drink as out of great depths. He brought streams also out of the rock, and caused waters to run down like rivers. And they sinned yet more against him by provoking the Most High in the wilderness. And they tempted the Most High in their heart by asking meat for their lust.
Yeah, so basically that's a portion of the bit inconsiderate. They tempted the Lord, saying, hey, well, if you could bring angels bread, well, can you give me some meat? You know what I'm saying? Niggas in the wilderness, basically modern day Chipotle, man. And that's how 2/3 are. They're inconsiderate, they're fickle, now to the point where, oh man, if the Lord really existed, he would have took my grandma. Or if you could pay my bill, then you'll give me a new this or a new that. The Lord's gonna take care of you. He ain't gonna give you all this extra shit. He could, but your mind shouldn't even be on that, man. Go ahead.
Yea, they spake against the Most High. They said, can the Most High furnish a table in the wilderness? Behold, he smote the rock that the waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed. Can he give bread also? Can he provide flesh for his people?
Yeah, you still thinking the so-called white man's alright because he gave you a little rice-a-roni bowl, but the Lord keep telling you he wicked, and you basically try to find a way to justify that if he's right or not, man, just because he did something for you, man. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures tell you in the time of prosperity, man, forget of affliction, man. In the time of affliction, you forget about prosperity. You're supposed to be in consistency with being a man of the Lord, man, serving the Most High, man. Okay? Read that again for me, Brother Michelle.
God. It says, behold, he smote the rock that the waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed. Can he give bread also?
So that's how 2/3 are, man. So the Most High be doing all this saying you are Israelites, and Jake don't wanna, you know what I'm saying? Jake go like that, yeah, that's fine and dandy, but can my Lord do this? Can he bless me with a bunch of money? He blessing you with the ultimate money. There's knowledge, wisdom, understanding, man. You see what Solomon wanted? He said, just give me the wisdom to judge thy people, man. You know? Go ahead.
Can he provide flesh for his people? Therefore the Lord heard this and was wroth. So a fire was kindled against Jacob.
Yeah, wrath means angry. You know? Go ahead.
And anger also came up against Israel, because they believed not in the Most High and trusted not in his salvation. Though he had commanded the clouds from above and opened the doors of heaven, and had rained down manna upon them to eat, and had given them of the corn of heaven. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. He caused an east wind to blow in the heaven, and by his power he brought in the south wind. He rained flesh, also upon them as dust, and feathered fowls like as the sand of the sea. And he let it fall in the midst of their camp, round about their habitations. So they did eat and were filled, and he gave them their own desire. They were not estranged from their lust, but while their meat was yet in their mouths.
Yeah, so the Most High right now, in these times, he's giving us salvation. You know? But what Jake do? They complain. You got me here tell me I gotta go out in the break code, you know, or just anything, man. They complain. Here it is, the Most High is buying us back. We almost out of here, and niggas want something else. You know? Go ahead.
The wrath of the Most High came upon them, and slew the fattest of them, and smote down the chosen men of Israel. For all this they sinned still, and believed not for his wondrous works. Therefore their days did he consume in vanity, and their years in trouble. It says, when he slew them, then they sought him, and they returned, and inquired early after the Most High.
Yeah. So basically, the Most High put his foot. People ask, namely Jake. Jake be quick to run back to the Most High, man. You know, but when something happens to the point, like I said, you're losing your grandmother or something, then they're questioning it because they learned the way of the heathen. But in these times, Jake, man, they'll be wilding out, man, get their ass. I need to go to church and all this and that, man. You know? Go ahead.
And they remembered that the Most High was their rock, and the high power their redeemer.
Yeah, they gonna when Esau start kicking the ass, they remember, oh yeah, that we need to stand up for each other and all this. You supposed to know that. Like I be telling niggas, man, look, we've been doing this before all that, man. You know, before all this was publicized that Esau be killing Jake, man. You know? Go ahead.
Nevertheless, they did flatter him with their mouth, and they lied unto him with their tongues. For their heart was not right with him, neither were they steadfast in his covenant. But being full of compassion, forgave their iniquity and destroyed them not. Yea, many a time turned he his anger away, and did not stir up all his wrath. For he remembered that they were but flesh, a wind that passeth away and cometh not again.
If the Most High can think like that, you know, that shows how wicked Yakanan, Alizé, all these people, because when they see some type of flaw, think it's a flaw and things like that, they will sit there and be hardcore on it until, you know what I'm saying, like Elder Carl with the jacket, or you know, mainly the biker jacket. Let's see that. Niggas will see that and act like they ain't never do nothing. They ain't never came out the world into the truth, or made mistakes inside the truth. Okay? But then when they say, oh, I'm telling you, yeah, they ain't the one to follow. It was like somebody want to open your closet up, man. Okay, go ahead.
It says, how oft did they provoke him in the wilderness and grieve him in the desert? Yea, they turned back and tempted the Most High and limited the Holy One of Israel. They remembered not his hand, nor the day when he delivered them from the enemy.
That's right. And that's in these times too. Our people don't remember that the Lord had delivered us from the enemy. Not only do they don't believe, but they make league with the enemy. Okay? Go ahead.
How he had wrought his signs in Egypt and his wonders in the field of Zoan, and had turned their rivers into blood and their floods that they could not drink. He sent divers sorts of flies among them, which devoured them, and frogs which destroyed them. He gave also their increase unto the caterpillar, and their labor unto the locust. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with frost. He gave up their cattle also to the hail, and their flocks to the thunderbolts. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them.
Yep. Read that again for me, Brother Baba Kashai.
This is verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them.
Yep. So basically, the Most High, if you don't listen, the Most High gonna fuck you up, man. And the 2/3 are known for not listening, man. You know, and it's all about that covenant, man. They turn their back on the covenant, and the covenant is basically the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay. Did we pass that part up? Let's see here. I believe we passed it up earlier, but the whole chapter goes into it. But I want to get Exodus 24th chapter. You get that for me, Karate. 24th made a sacrifice, covenant by sacrifice. Remember, it was going into it.
Passing up part.
Oh,
Like the laws and
it's really they had one earlier, but I thought it said it again. I thought it said it later. I could have sworn it said it later. It's like, and I sworn I could have known it said it later. But it said covenant that they verse 10. I believe it said 37. Give me 37. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. This verse 37.
No, give me yeah, go 36.
Okay. This is verse 36. It says, nevertheless, they did flatter him with their mouth, and they lied unto him with their tongues.
Yeah, so that's that. Not my Jesus, Lord. What kind of quotes that they have?
my God.
Not my God. They got they got that one, but ain't no God like my God. I do whatever for my Lord. All I got is God. Me and God.
Not the God I know.
You know, yeah, that's the same thing we said the first time. You know, just the quotes that they have to say basically, ain't no God like their God. And like they're basically insinuating that they have a thorough passion for the Most High, and they use it with their words. Okay?
Relationship with God.
Yeah. It's just me and God type of thing, you know?
It says, for their heart was not right with him, neither were they steadfast in his covenant.
Yep, neither were they steadfast in his covenant. So, if you go, man, really, I can't say how far back it goes, but in Exodus, the situation in Exodus, during Exodus, was really dealing with the elect in the 2/3. You know what I'm saying? And basically, the elect ended up making it into the kingdom. You know, and the elect was what? A form of being grafted back in, being that grape cluster. Even though the grape cluster, what the Most High says, is going to destroy all the grapes, but then he said there was a grape cluster after that. You know, the Most High always talking about putting off Israel, like he said, second Ezra. I think it was first Ezra or second Ezra, second chapter, when he said he cut off Israel and he found a people that wasn't Israel, but ended up being Israel. You know what I'm saying? Basically, the Most High cast off and then dealt with a small remnant of people. And that remnant ain't talking about no heathen. It's talking about Israel, the elect. So in Egypt, the 2/3 technically was the first set of Israelites, besides Joshua and Caleb, and Moses, of course. You know what I'm saying? Really, all of them was 2/3. The Most High brought back in what the second generation, which ended up being the elect. You know? Huh? Yeah.
This is Hebrews chapter 3, verse 15. It says, while it is said, today if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts as in the provocation. For some, when they had heard, did provoke. Howbeit, not all that came out of Egypt by Moses. But with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? And to whom sware he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not? So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief.
There you go. They cannot enter in because of unbelief. So you mean to tell me, when we're sitting out here telling you that you're an Israelite, you're supposed to grow your beard, you're supposed to treat a person this way, you're supposed to eat this and do that, you know what I'm saying? So-called white man is your enemy, you know what I'm saying? You don't believe that, but then you want to say, oh, the Lord, the Most High and the Son bless me, and he's going to carry me through this and do that. You're just flattering with your lips. Because at the end of the day, the people that didn't receive salvation in Exodus is going to be the same reason why niggas don't get salvation in these times. You think them Israelites that was in the wilderness didn't believe in the Most High? With a chariot flying over their head?
Yeah.
You know? It was the fact that they ain't respect the covenant, man. You know, they ain't respect the Most High, they ain't respect the covenant, they was inconsiderate, you know, they were fickle, you know? And that's how these 2/3 are today, man. Okay? These motherfuckers don't, they're weak-minded, they got their head up a woman's ass, or they got their head stuck in at the job getting money, or you know what I'm saying, they have the world, you know, they can't stay disciplined, they can't stick in the truth, they don't have the passion toward the Most High, you know.
I'm going to say, like you said, this is the same time in these times. When you read this whole chapter, Hebrews 3, it's telling you that Yahushua is more glorified than Moses, you know what I'm saying? So if you didn't believe like they didn't believe in Moses, so you definitely better believe in Yahushua. You don't get the same that they got of unbelief.
Alright, so you got the Exodus chapter 24 verse 1?
Okay.
Yeah, let's get that.
Exodus 24 and 1. And he said unto Moses, come up unto ye, come up unto your Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come up here, come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came up and told the people all the words of the Most High, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice, and said, all the words which the Lord has said, we will do.
So that part right there is them saying, them making the oath that, you know what I'm saying, they're signing that oath, you know, and all the words that were said, they said we will do is really basically the from the chapters before, and because it's telling you everything that Moses said. Like if you go into chapter 23, verse 22, it says, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. Okay? So basically, the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, is basically saying, hey man, you know, if you listen to me, I'll be an enemy to your enemies. You know? And why you think we're in this condition? It says Baruch, he didn't move us to destruction. He didn't put us in a situation for our destruction, but because we moved him to wrath. You know, so basically the Most High, his enemies ain't our enemies ain't his enemies. So he basically letting every nation loose on us right now. That's why a cracker could just shoot down an Israelite, man. You know, nations used to be scared to even put their hands on Israelites due to the recompenses of the Most High, man. Oh, like certain things such as this. And thou, verse 8, thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blinded eyes of the wise, and perverted the words of the righteous. Hey, man, them endorsements and things like that with these rich athletes. When these athletes, these are the main people that see all the wickedness Esau be doing, man. You know, because they're up in high rankings, man. They see all the fucking fornication abomination that's being done. Then you have from the charities, the fake charities. Then you have the donations that, you know, with T.D. Jakes and all these other pastors. You know, they take gifts by the droves. Okay. It says, keep thee far from a false matter, and an innocent righteous, and the innocent and righteous slave thou not, for I will not justify the wicked. What's a false matter? Saying we rape babies, man. You know, these are the things the 2/3 do is create false. They say, be thee far away from a false matter, man. You know? It's things on top of things. I just read the part of the chapter and just read straight down. Starting at 4. It says, if thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. Okay? These niggas like Yakanan are unmerciful. They see our ox or something that's for us, man. You know, they'll let it, you know, who knows, man. If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and what is forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause. You know what I'm saying? So basically, you're supposed